Namaste. Ladies and gentlemen, every Indian classical dance performance is an experience, both for the dancer and for those of us who watch it. Thank you very much for coming here to be a part of this experience. Tonight is a performance of ODISSI. Of the 7 classical forms of dance in India, ODISSI vies with Bharatanatyam for being one of the oldest living traditions of classical dance. It comes from the state of Orissa. The name itself rolls off the tongue like a whisper or a caress. Orissa lies on the northeastern coast of India. It is a land that is sacred to many saints. She's cut off from the rest of the world by the sea on her east, and on her west, mountains and barren lands. And thus every spiritual leader found Orissa most enticing and most fertile ground for the reception of spirituality. There is nothing in India that is divorced from the divine. Every dance performance, every concert is in some way connected to the worship of the divine. So also in Orissa. The temples in Orissa, Bhubaneswar itself, the only capital in India that bears the name of a god, Lord of the earth, Bhubaneswar. That in itself should tell you something about the people and the state. In Bhubaneswar itself, there are more than 1,008 temples. The Lingaraj, the towering spires of Lingaraj command the view, where he dances in the hearts of people who go to worship him in the form of Linga. There is Mukteshwara, there is Parashurameshwara, there is, of course, the beautiful temple, the Sun Temple at Konark, and Lord Jagannath at Puri. How does one speak about a state like that? But to you and me tonight, the relevance of that state is the dance that it fostered. In the temples of India, especially in Tamil Nadu and Orissa, people gave their daughters to the temple. Like the Vestal Virgins of Rome or the oracles of ancient Greece, these girls were promised as brides of the gods. And many of them were from royal families, many of them were the daughters of the Brahmin priests, many of them were girls who were the daughters of merchants. Nevertheless, these Devadasi, servants of the gods, lived in the temples. They performed for their gods. In Orissa, they called the Maharis. And these girls dance in the Natya Mandabas. If you were to go to Konark, you would see the sun rises on the great temple of the sun. And Surya, mutilated as he is, stands in splendor in the adamantine green of his form. And straight in front of him, the sun rises and falls upon the Natya hall. And here, picture to yourself, for the last 1,000 years or more, girls dance in praise of Surya, in praise of Lingaraj, in praise of Vishnu. They worship their deities and praise their gods with love, seeking union and liberation through their dance. But while they danced within the temples, outside the temples, there were young boys, pre-puberty boys called the Gotipuas. These boys danced in the outside precincts of the temple, and being very young, they had to make people believe they were gentle, sensuous women. And so the Gotipuas began to foster a form of dance that is lyrical, that is sensual, that is absolutely beautiful, but completely rooted in bhakti, in religious worship. So these Gotipuas, coming mainly from a little village called Raghurajpur, if you all are so fortunate and you should be chosen by the gods to visit Orissa, you go to this little village along a rickety lane, and as you enter, you hear the stick of the master, and you hear the pakawas, the drum, and you hear the flute, and the boys are dancing. These Gotipuas and the Maharis gave to us the dance that we see tonight. Odissi is full of spirituality, yes, but the chauka pose, which is a square pose, the beautiful sculptural poses that they see on the temples, these come alive for us on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, all over India, there are inimitable statues. I'm only sad that the ancient Greeks never knew and saw completely what the sculptor's chisel did in India. Whether you go to Belur Helibet or you go to Chidambaram, wherever you go in India, there are sculptures. But believe you me, nowhere are the women so beautiful as they are in the temples in Orissa. And if you should go to Konark, the weather has potted that beautiful sandstone, but that smile and the unknown sculptor who worshipped his gods through his art lives on. Go there, because there man, God, and the spirit are one. Now, the dance Odissi itself is quite distinctive. The costume is distinctive. All the costume, just as Bharatanatyam has the Kanjivaram as its main sari to make the costumes, in Odissi it is the Sambalpuri. Now that's a Sambalpuri, and on the border is the Rudraksha, the garland of beads sacred to Shiva. So every Odissi dancer wears a sari which has got the Rudraksha from Sambalpuri. She wears beautiful silver jewelry. They were not a wealthy state like the other states in India. They wore beautiful silver jewelry. They wore a crown of jasmine buds. And when they had finished their course, their teacher gave them a chuda, just made out of the center of the papyrus. So the costume is distinctive. The music is distinctive because the pakawas, the sitar, and the flute, and the cymbals command the music. But tonight, those of you who are uninitiated in the art must understand some things. Now you see over on the other side a form that to the eye looks most misshapen. That is Lord Jagannath, who rules in Puri. He is a piece of wood. He has saucer-like eyes, and his stumps of hands are facing you in the gesture of love. He sits in Lord Jagannath's temple with his brother Balabhadra or Balarama and his sister Subhadra. Nowhere else in India do you have the Trinity represented by Lord Jagannath, who is a carnation of Vishnu, with his brother and his sister. Below him you see 3 photographs. One of them is of Ramakrishna, whom we all know to be one of the most saintly human beings, who pointed out that you reach God, you reach a sadhana through service. He was a saint in the end of the last century. Next to him, his wife Sarada, and on this side, his greatest disciple Vivekananda. But below them, you see a lady, Sanjukta Panigrahi. Joyoti Das, the dancer of tonight, comes from a great line of gurus. Guru Kalacharan Mahapatra was a guru. He started as a Gotipua. He is the one who took the Odissi out of the Maharis and the Gotipuas and gave it to the people. His brightest star was Sanjukta Panigrahi. And I personally feel that Joyoti, as her disciple, has brought that line for us here. Sad to say, Guruji Kalicharan passed away about 3 weeks ago. What a loss. I mean, I don't think we can ever replace a person like him. At the age of 79, Sanjukta passed away in 1997. But they have left for us their dedication to the art of Odissi. Now when the curtain opens, you will see at the back of the stage a snake. Seshanag, Ananda Sesha. And on that coiled snake that floats on a milky sea lies Lord Vishnu, Lord Protector of the universe. And at his feet would sit Lakshmi, and out of his navel was born Brahma, the creator of all things. Today, Seshana, Adisesha himself, commands the performance. Because in Orissa, Saivism, worship of Shiva, and Vaishnavism, worship of Vishnu, merged as one. And we all have to remember it is because of Ashoka, who was converted to Buddhism, that today Buddhism is the fastest growing religion in the world. So, Orissa is special. ODISSI is a personal favorite with me. And I'll leave you in the morning of Orissa at dawn. And we see the people who come to worship Lord Jagannath. Ladies and gentlemen, the performance today is dedicated to the great spirit of service that is personified by Sri Ramakrishna. And we are fortunate indeed that we can dedicate this performance to the Vedanta Society. With that, I leave you to go to Orissa. Thank you.
Hari Om. Cheto darpana marjanam bhava mahadabagni nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaram Vita Vadhu Jeevanam Anandam Buddhivartanam Pratipadam Purinamrita Aswadanam Sarvatma Smapanam Parama Vijayate Sri Krishna Sucharuvatramangalam Sukanaratnakundalam Suchachitanga Chandanam Namah